So have you ever seen those nesting dolls? They kind of fit inside of one another, and they form like the same doll, but like pieces of each other inside themselves. My grandmother used to have these in her house. She collected them, right? So when we would go over and play at her house, there were all these nesting dolls to play with, and we would take them apart and put them back together and swap them out, parts, and etc. And so I was thinking the other day, like, what is this tradition, right? Because they used to say Russian nesting dolls, or at least my mother and my grandmother used to call them that, right? And the tradition actually of nesting dolls is that it's a representation of what's inside of all of us, right? It's actually a legacy of generations, a mother giving birth to a child, giving birth to a child, giving birth to a child, right? So think of that as in layers, layers within a person, right? So let's jump to organizational culture. One of the biggest mistakes we make is that we see people come to work and we see them as they are, right? So we see them as the outer nesting doll, which incredibly, they're not, right? Everybody is made up of generational things, of ethnic things, of things that have happened during their lifetime, and they're bringing all these things to work, and what's inside is really not what's on the outside. It could be, right? Somebody could be no layers, but unfortunately, the layers inside the generations of a person's personality, how they view things, how they approach things, how they react to things, all of these are their layers. These are their nesting dolls of what we really have to peel back and put back together into an organizational culture. Okay, so if you think of something as being 2D, right, or you see me come into the workplace and you say, well, that's Linda Martin, right? What you see is what you get. Now, us old people would call that WYSIWYG, right? What you see is what you get. But what you see is not always what you get. And so you have to make adjustments to how you do cultural things in the workforce. For example, if you want to do safety things and you want to do operational things, you have to take into account all of those individuals with all of their different layers, all of their different nesting dolls, and put them together as a team. And therein lies the problem, right? You can't put together a team based on what you see on the outside. You have to put together the team based on the layers, right? And so once you get those layers together, that's when you get culture.